All right. So as I was planning for this ETV, I legitimately said, let me just get the data set and bring it into R. But instead, I think it would be more beneficial for you to hear my thought process, and how I extract data. And so what I want to do is look up Olympics data. And one of the things that I know is that I need it to be in a table. Okay. So Olympics, if I do Olympics data, okay, that is fine. But ideally, I already know that I want it to be from Wikipedia because Wikipedia stores its data tables really easily. So I'm gonna go to Wiki, okay. And the thing is, in terms of Olympics, in terms of thinking about it, you can imagine there are a lot of events. So sometimes you have to narrow down your search. So of course, this has no tables. It's the history. So this is not what I want. All right. So I'm gonna say Olympics Wikipedia. Let's say track. Okay, track and field. I mean, well, this is a sport. This is not an event, but you can kind of get where I'm coming from. So technically, I could bring this table into R, but the utility behind it, to me right now, it's not present. I mean, I have events, which is fine. Oh wow, the events have increased. Interesting. This is not in. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. The events have increased. Okay, but that's the utility behind this is not there. This could be important. This could be something to look into, but I'm not that keen on it. Let's say we focus on 100 meters. And so that's nice, but however, I still don't see a table. It's giving me more logistics about the race. Oh, there we go. We have a table here. Okay. So we have, I guess, a world record list to an extent. Okay, this is interesting. But it's not long. It's not, okay, this is more. Okay, this is good. But still, I would say that this is not the greatest start. So what I would say is go back one. But even me typing 100 meters, I'm going to actually say, or at least I'm going to focus on 100 meters. And I'm going to say record list, record list. And then I'm going to say, just because of time, I'm going to say table. Okay, let's see. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the same list that I was looking at last time. Okay. All right. So this is the list. All right. So I'm going to bring this data frame into R. So I'm going to do this. Go to my desktop. Go to my directory. And then click on this. Okay. Hopefully the sound still stays consistent. All right. Let me speak a little louder so you can still hear me. So I went into R. I'm going to then create a new. I'm gonna make a markdown. Whatever, it's fine. ETV. I guess this is the second one. Let's say Olympics. I'm gonna spell this wrong. I shouldn't start off thinking negative. Olympics. Okay, that's fine. Okay. And then I'm going to erase from line 7 on. I'm going to create a R chunk that has my libraries that I want. I know I'm going to need dplyr. I know I'm going to use ggplot. But I'm also going to add something that you probably have to install. It's called library HTML tools. Okay, let's do two things. So go ahead and install this. Take a moment before I just show you how to do it again. But next couple videos I won't show you how to do it. But install packages in quotes, and then you run that. That's how you install HTML tools. Okay. So once you install that, what we're going to now do is say, in the back of your mind, you should be asking, what the heck is HTML tools? HTML tools allows you to extract data from a website. Okay, so this is a lot. This is not the point of the class, but but HTML is hypertext markup, markdown markup language, and so that's what websites are traditionally written in. So you may say this is a nice looking website, but at the end of the day, if you press Control U on your, this is HTML, okay? And so what we want to do is extract the table, okay? And actually, I had you install the wrong one. Now that I think about it, that happens. It's not HTML2, it's HTML tabs. Because I want to get the table, yeah, tab. So you should install. I won't show the code. You should install HTML tab. So this is what we need. Okay, so I'm gonna put setup here. So every single time I run, it runs this chunk. Okay, and then I'm going to do. We did this with here, but I'm going to do it again, HTML tab, just so you can see that, and also it's going to tell me the function name, HTML tab, and then it only has two functions. It only has these two functions. When I use HTML tab, I can now supply it with, it says the doc, but it's really just a URL, which is the website in and of itself. So, it's the same thing. Okay, fine. So then what I'll do is I will put this here. This is going to give me an error. Okay, so just mind your, be patient. So when I run this, it doesn't know what table to get. Okay, the primary purpose of HTML tab is to be able to get the tables within the HTML document. But it right now does not know what the table to get. I was going to try the first one. Okay, and so the argument left, which is left unspecified, so it's choosing the first table. All right, so let's see what this table is. And sometimes you have to play games with this, because it's kind of hard for you to see what is considered to be a table. And so what I'm thinking, based off of the outputs, considering this to be a table, this article has multiple issues. Yikes. This article has multiple issues, exactly. So if they count that as a table, sometimes you have to either count it. So like, say this is a table. They're considering this to be a table. This is probably considered a table. That's 2. This is 3, and then I would argue this is 4, and then that's the one I want, I think. Yeah, that is the one I want. So then that's that. So I'm gonna say which is equal to 4. No, that's not it. What did it say? Okay. Run it again. Okay, we're getting closer. So we said 5. So I told you sometimes it has to be a little bit of a game. I'm gonna pause it and find it so that we can get to it. Okay, so I finally got it. So come to find out, it is table number 9. Okay, so this is now the table that we've got from Wikipedia, and we brought it into table number 7. Sorry. Into R. So I would argue that this is called the extraction. Okay, and so as you can imagine, this is me going a little bit telling you more details, is that the extraction can be very, very difficult. If we didn't have this package, to actually get the HTML table would be ridiculously difficult. Well, yes, without this function, without this package, it would be difficult. It would be time consuming. We'll be doing more CS than data science. So we're very fortunate to have this package. So boom, the extraction is there. The next thing to note is to do some transformation. So if we look at this data frame, let's say for example we want to compare the number of men versus the number of women per year. Create a scatter plot. I would argue that all these variables are considered to be strings by default. So let's do a little bit of a check. Hold on, let's do that. Let's do a little check. So what I mean by check is let's see the data types within this data frame. So I'm going to do str_df. So that means structure for me to see the structure of the data frame. Yes, so all of them are considered to be characters. So let's do some data cleaning. Alright, so one of the biggest things is I'm going to only focus on number of men and number of women. So I'm going to take df and I'm going to teach you a bunch of things here. So one of the first things is that I do not like that name number of men. So I'm going to just say a number of women, I'm gonna say just num. That's based on the space. So I'm gonna say num underscore men. So I'm gonna use the rename function num underscore men. Men is equal to, and this is where it gets kind of tricky. Those are upticks. So they have to be specified in upticks. So that's going to be right next to 1 on your keyboard. I think both on Mac and Windows. And then I'm going to have to do the same thing with women. Num women. Okay. And that's going to be the same thing. So, and I'm going to specify that in I'm going to say clean Olympic let's say it like that. Okay, and then boom. So when I look at this, okay, my column names will now change. Now the next thing I want to do is remove these dashes. Okay, remove those dashes. So how I would do that, or like I would filter. There's a lot of things I can do here. I can if it has this line, I don't want it. Okay, I don't want it. If it has these lines under number of women, I don't want it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna filter that out. So filter. Okay, number of women. Okay, not equal. So that's not equal. We haven't specified that delineation, but we can get rid of rows by saying not equal. Okay, and that would be like this. Let's see what happens. Now you can see the number of rows decrease to now 21. Okay, but if you remember, this is we're not ready to visualize yet. We're still not ready to visualize, because if I were to go here and do str clean only diff, okay, everything's still treated as a character. Number of men, number of women. So what I can then do is utilize. I'm gonna do two big things. I'm gonna look at only the variables that are important here, and I would want to say year. Set that year, number of men, and then number of women. Okay, so when I do that, and I do the str, I should get 3 variables. But those 3 variables only have all considered to be characters. Okay, so what we can now do is I'm going to say mutate. I can mutate each of the variables to be all numeric. I'm going to say as dot numeric. I could have done it each one at a time, and this is probably going to give me error. Let's see what happens. I got an error. Yep. Let me do it the long way first, and then I'm going to re-jog my memory on how to do it the short way. Or maybe I don't even just need these. That's why. I just need this. Exactly. See, I know sometimes you just forget things, and it's fine. No one's going to judge you. str. Okay, boom. All of them in numeric now. Now I can plot it. Okay? So, with that being said, I could have done it individually. What I mean by individually, I know you all love to learn, just like how I do, is I could have done mutate year is equal to as dot numeric, and then just say year. And I would have to do that for each and every one. Num men, num women. But because that's why, like you see why I did that select for the student, I was asking like, is that function important? Sometimes in class I just do it just so you can practice, but now you can kind of see why that's important here. I can now create that visualization. And so what geom do you think I should use? If you said geom point, you are correct. So I would say AES X is equal to, oh, that's not right. X is equal to number of men. Y is equal to number of women. Plus geom point. We're looking good here. So this is not going to be the random blonde. Oh, look at that. So we can't talk about causality here. Okay. As you can see, we're ignoring the year, and I'm trying to think how could we use the year. Oh, I have an idea. Okay, but I'm gonna keep going with. Let me pause this for a second. Okay, we're doing good. I mean, I know more. This is over usual, but this is we're doing good. So what I can do is look at what data do I have? What years do I have? So what I can say, anything above right down in the middle. I want to say 1950, but it's only that many data points. Let's say when was a big progressive movement? Let's say the civil rights movement. Rights for all. Was there a change? Okay, so I'm gonna create a variable. Anything before 1968, we're gonna specify that as before civil rights, and then everything after 1968, we're gonna call that civil rights. Okay, not before civil rights and after civil rights. Emmanuel. All right, so then we're gonna do mutate, and I'm gonna say we'll create a new variable called civil rights, and I'm gonna use this thing called case 1. There's a lot of ways of doing this, but I love case 1 because it's very, very powerful. All right, so this is a huge tool. So what we're gonna do is look at year, and when it's less than, I said less than or equal to 1970, I think we should say 19. I'm gonna say 1970. I could be. I'm not. I'm gonna say. And this tilde is needed to specify that we're delineating anything that's less than 1970. And we're going to specify this as before. I'm going to change this. I would say 1960, before civil rights. Okay. And you all can play around yourself, and then you can see there's a lot of ways to do this. I'm just going to do the opposite. Say year is greater than. I could have said else. I believe else would have worked too. 1960 tilde after civil rights. After civil rights. Okay? Civil rights. Okay. Alright, so then that's that. Run this. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say color. Okay. I think color should be here. Okay, then boom, and then say civil rights. Oh, I know I shouldn't have put it there, but I'm get the error, and then I'll move it to where it ought to be. So of course, I did run this. It's fine. Did I spell it right? Civil. Should be here. Okay, that's fine. And you can kind of that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense, right? After civil rights, you see the numbers of. So everyone increases, of course, but a dramatic. I would argue that the slope here is dramatic in terms of the number of women that are now in the race. That's good. Another thing that we can do, I'm going to teach you another visualization technique. It's the first time seeing it, so at least it should be the first time. It's called facet. Okay, so that means that I can, make 2 graphs based on the data. So this is where your artist capacity comes in. So facet grid. So I'm putting in a point to say I don't want it to be along the. I don't want it to be vertical. I want it to be tilde horizontal. Civil rights. Okay. I want it to be horizontal. Okay, so this is why it's horizontal. And it's after, before, because of ABC order. I can flip the order, but that's fine. And if the tilde allows me to specify what's X and Y. So if I had another variable here, I could have, let's say if it was, I don't know, it was like race or something. Let's say race tilde civil rights. Okay, it'd be a 4x4, or depending on the number of races, we can have a 5x2, or not 4x4, 2x2, or in the situation maybe a 5x2, so on and so, or 6x2, depending on what you classify by race. Alright, so that is facet grid. That's it. I think that's going to be it for this video. Okay, I know it's a little long, but thanks for watching. Hopefully you learn some new things, new techniques.